HarperCollins launched their, Leslie, if I make any mistakes, please tell me. HarperCollins launched their Browse Inside program in 2006, and they were, leaders of the pack. They were one of the first to do so. I mean, Amazon's been doing this since 2003, and we always try to collect data out on the web, and it's been very difficult to collect data, especially from Amazon. But there is one article that was out there in the early days of how Amazon actually reported 9% increased sales across 1,000 titles when they actually initiated the whole Browse Inside feature. So, and I think HarperCollins had a similar experience in increase in sales for the titles that they initially put up with Browse Inside. Now they've done a lot more. But the critical thing, I think, that what Harper really gets from Browse Inside is insight and data of what their customers are doing. So you take the old way of creating, cover art and giving information about a particular title, and leverage technology, and the features that are out there. And this is what happened for HarperCollins on their Browse Inside. So in terms of visitors and visits and it actually multiplied 3 or 4 times. But the things that they couldn't do with just a regular PDF download was, one, page views, the average visit duration, clicks to buy, and the most phenomenal thing is the 16,236 email to a friend. So now they've used the power of viral marketing to actually, push their content out to the world. So, this is, I think, basic thing that every publisher has to do. You take, the standard cover art. If you can take that and move it, replace that with a widget, you're starting your electronic strategy. And we'll show you how you can do that very simply and actually do it with absolutely no cost at all. And I think every publisher should do that. So another, just an experiment, says Random House. So they also have their Browse Inside, but they've taken it a step further and created multiple different experiments. I mean, the personalized book where you can actually print, get a print on demand with your personalized picture. I think they did that with a partnership with Shared Book. Chunk books where they sell chapters of a book. And custom content selection of recipe books and all of that. And they've also tried ad-supported models. But what's key here is they're experimenting and they're getting domain knowledge. They know what's going to work, and they're going to tweak their businesses to create content sets or content products that will actually win in the long term. So in terms of just numbers, again, they're getting data that they can actually use to tweak their businesses. But the real key, one of the real leaders in all of this is the guys who are hosting this conference. It's O'Reilly and what they've done with Safari. I mean, it's pretty impressive. They were really in the forefront. They tried different models, but in Tim O'Reilly's blog, he actually mentions that their Safari Online channel, their direct-to-consumer channel, is actually number 2 behind Amazon. So, that I think every publisher should actually duplicate what O'Reilly Publishing has done and create their own channel, as well as Amazon, as well as Google, as well as every other outlet that's there. But they've created a model where they can sell books, they can sell it as a rental like Netflix. And create different types of experiments with things like Safari U and all. So here we are, O'Reilly, who's offering books both in all formats, in all types of different devices, Kindle, iPhone, Stanza, and really they've created a strong brand and have allowed their content to be where their customers are. So what should you do? It's experiment. So everyone, companies like Harper, companies like Random House, they're experimenting. So you should also. And I think those companies might have much larger budgets to experiment, but you can experiment.